So today is two-handed, the letter S, or the hand shape S. So are you ready? Because there's a whole bunch. Now remember, not all the words are going to start with an S, but this is the hand shape that you use throughout the whole entire sign or the beginning of the sign. So, but it's using two hands, and so it's going to be a little bit different signs than with just the one-handed S. So the first one is powerful or strong, strength. Ski. I've never skied, but I know you hold those little ski poles and you ski. Cold or winter. Can, the ability to, not a can, but the ability. So can. So can. System. If you're talking about some type of system of any kind, like the whole system is broken down, or there's a lot of ways to use a system. Motorcycle. Vroom, 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 right? It's really fun to make the sounds, especially when you're learning. Anyway, canoe. And see, if I was canoeing, I would canoe and canoe, right? Get the oars and how you're doing that. Carpentry, and you're holding one of those planes, a P-L-A-N-E, and you're trying to get that wood all smoothed out. So that's the action, and that's what you need to envision, that's what it is, a carpentry. Stretch. It doesn't matter because you have the S hand shape, so you can stretch this way or you can stretch this way. Like, oh, before we do our exercises, we're going to stretch. So exercises, because like you're picking up like a dumbbell or whatever, so that's exercises. But then you're going to stretch. But you can stretch in different ways. Stretch. You can take material and stretch it. Shoes. I don't know why that's shoes, but that's shoes. Remember, we did B for boots and S for shoes. To hold something or hold it, like if you're talking to someone and someone's trying to interrupt you or say something, you go, hang on. So hold it, hang on. Baseball, you're holding the bat, so that's pretty universal. I think most people would know what that is. A custom, remember we did that. Tradition, a custom, you're used to, we did that, So it's the same concept. But this is the original sign. You're accustomed to or you're used to it. Slave. Remember when we did the sign for freedom? Because this is what it symbolizes. First, you're the slave. You're shackled, right? You're a slave. And then you can be saved, or F for free. But that's where that sign comes from. Slave and save. You can also be safe. It's the same sign. They use that. Accident. Break. Some people do like, oh, spring break. It's not really the sign, but a lot of people use it because it shows a break, or if you fractured something, or you've broken a leg, or it's break, or let's take a break. Some people will do that, but this is actually to actually break something. And sometimes if you want to take a break or spring break, it's suspension, or we're going to have this intermission type of thing. So you'll see like break, we're going to have a break in different ways. Heartbreak or grieving or mourning, you touch your heart. Remember, this is our heart, and then we break it. You can do it twice. You can do it with both hands, but I usually do it with one hand just because it's just easier. Remember, we did class and family. Okay, so S is for society. Defend. A hug, love, embrace, all those signs. Oh, forgot to do, like when you do exercise, you can do like gym with a G, or, and make sure, or you're going to the gym, exercise. But sometimes you might want to ask them, are they specifically going to the gym? So I wrote that down, but you know, car, speedometer. So you're driving, and ooh, oh man, and then I saw those, you know, those red lights. So you can drive along, and the speedometer goes down. Also for like your gas tank, and it goes down this way. That's the one hand shape. But a lot of times, because you're talking about the car, it'll start with S hand shape. Bicycle. And if you want to do tricycle, then you would do it with the T's. But it's really bicycle because you're riding. It's the pedals. So that it's not a motorcycle. So when people say bike, you need to figure out, are they talking about their motorcycle or their bicycle? So it's a little bit different. And we did rabbi, and the last time with our R. So bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah is this, because I believe it's because on their prayer, they have those prayer roll things where they write down their prayers, and they usually put them in boxes on different parts of their bodies. But this is bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah. I think that's where that sign comes from, but I'm not sure. But regardless, this is the sign for bat mitzvah or a bar mitzvah. I used to live not too far from a community of Jewish people, so I wanted to include some of those. And then New York, there's a large population. So there's large populations in different parts of the country. To box or to fight, box, same thing. To make or create, and you pick it up. You don't slide it. You pick it up to make, because it means something else. Okay, doubt. We did doubt. This is also doubt. I doubt it, or I doubt something. So you can say it either way. It doesn't matter. Structure. Remember we did building, structure. And this can be a physical structure or a structure of a curriculum or a structure of a business structure, because it's building. So a structure. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical structure that you see, but it can be like a business structure, or I need structure in my life. So say I need structure. My life, I need. So none of that was good ASL grammar. So to suffer, but it's mostly a handshake, but some people will do it with like, oh, I'm suffering, and they'll do the whole S handshake. So you'll see these different signs for agony and suffering. You know, they may do this or this on the heart. Remember that it's not bat mitzvah, but it's suffering over here with the heart, and so that could be agony and suffering. I don't know that I see that as much down in the south, but you can see it in different areas where you're at. Stone or rock. Remember we said church is like churches on the rock, but this is rock or stone. We have also seen this, but it also can be like for metal. So I do this for rock or stone. I do not do this for rock or stone. I have seen it, but I usually use this. I like sometimes things that are nice and clear, so I know for sure what it is. But sometimes you have to look in context, and that's okay, because like sometimes rock or stone or metal might be in the same context as you're talking about a building, right, or a structure. See what I did there? Okay. Appointment. Remember we did engagement, appointment, and we did married. So appointment is, they're using S handshakes. Sometimes I do A. I don't know if it really matters, and I think a reason I do A is because appointment, I think A, but it doesn't matter. And it's something that's set in stone. An appointment. Work. Remember we did busy and business. Work. A job. We did year previously. Remember, because the earth rotates around the sun. And you can also do yearly, It starts out with an S hand shape. It goes to a 1 yearly, every year. Every year I have my work evaluation. Coffee. And it's, think of it grinding the coffee. It's a coffee grinder. So you have just this, and then you have that you're grinding your coffee, an old-fashioned coffee grinder. Umbrella. And you're pulling it up for umbrella. The handle. Support. Remember we did reinforce on the R hand shape? And I said this is support. So this hand, your hand that you write with, does the movement. And the hand that you do not write with does nothing. So it pushes it up. It supports it. So any type of support, any way that you would use that word, support. Exaggerate. Oh man, I know that he had a hard time, but he just went on and on and on, exaggerated. It wasn't that bad, or whatever. Exaggerate. But advertisement is kind of in the same thing, but it's almost like you're pulling out pamphlets in a sense. That's kind of, I always like to have some sort of visual help me to remember. This is advertise, and this is to exaggerate. They went on. And it also could be they went on and on and on and on. It doesn't necessarily mean they exaggerated, but they just went on and on about the story. But to exaggerate, you exaggerated. To conquer or defeat, like when you have your team, remember, society, team. So you have your team and we beat them, conquered them, we beat them. To stamp of approval, it could be, when they have a stamp or a notary or something like that, that could be that. Sometimes I'll do approve, AP, but this is a stamp of approval or to certify something. Remember we did your certification, but this is a stamp of approval, that type of thing. It was approved or it was certified. Yes, I had it stamped by notary. Credit card. Now this is an old sign. Remember, I don't know how old y'all are, but a machine that was kind of long and you put your credit card on it and then they went and it went on some carbon paper and they gave you a copy of the carbon paper. That's where that sign came from, credit card. And it's still the same thing. Sometimes people will do this, when you slide it now you just put the chip or you swipe it. But this is still a sign for a credit card. It has not changed. So, but it has modernized by your, your card where you swipe it or you put it over there on top or you put it in the card, and sometimes you would be more specific if you were telling them how to do it. But I've seen people, when they swipe it, they've changed it from credit card to the swiping. But the swiping is getting obsolete too. So anyway, okay, and so to erase, so credit card, so I have to be careful with erasing, but if you have to be writing and erasing, so I think that would have to be in context when you need to erase it. Like if you're erasing on the board or if you're erasing your paper, I wrote it wrong, I had to erase it. So you're not going to get that mixed up with credit card. Or if you're writing on the board and, had to erase it, right? Bells or chimes. Ring the bell, ring the bell. State. This could be statute as well, but I usually do law for statute because this is for state, for the State of the Union. I mean, all the different states of the Union. So this is the sign for state. So I probably want to use that for statute. It might be misconstrued. I like this next one. No, stab. That could be for stab in the back, or he was stabbed. You see on the news, but this is stab. But this is also used for stabbed in the back. Sample. Like when you want to show or demonstrate or give a sample, you're showing it. So you start out here and you're showing it like you're presenting something. I'm going to give you a sample. So it's the same type of movement, but it can be the other hand of what you do with it. Stage, and that's to be on a stage. So on the stage, and this is your horizon, and this is the stage. So if you're talking about an audience goes to see a play, and there on the stage was a woman, and she was walking, and she fell down. Okay, situation. So we have our left hand, or the hand we do not write with, just our one finger up, and then our S hand shape for situation. This, remember, we did E for environment, S for situation. This could be for different things, but that's what that's for. That's what I use mostly for situation or environment. For the most part, I use that sign. Also, this is our person, so when you hit it like that, it's abuse. It is physical abuse, or you can say it also can be an emotional abuse. It can be any type of abuse that you want it to be, but it is demonstrated and shown in this way. Shock. Right? You could do it in different ways. Shock. You start out with the S hands, or you could do shocked. You could do it both ways. We already did bow tie because it's the H hand shape, but it does start out with the S. So I did want to make sure that the S hand shape was involved with that for a bow tie. Popcorn, you start out with the S hand shape. Remember, I told you they weren't going to all be completely S or start with an S. But popcorn, you start with an S and then it pops up. Popcorn. Isn't that fun? I like popcorn. I like that sign, and I like popcorn. In the same vein, raindrops. You start out with your S hand shape. Microwave, you start out with an S hand shape and microwave. I want to microwave it. Some people do microwave with just an M for microwave, or some people do, this is the original sign for microwave, because it's all the, the box of the microwave, and here they come out of the sides. To throw out, to get rid of. It also, if you did cause, you could do it causes something. You could also do throw out. Start out with an S hand shape. So both of those. But throw out, I think I would probably throw it up, because this is to cause something. I would probably throw it out this way, or if you want to do it to your left, you could make it bigger that you're throwing out instead of, because this is to cause. C-A-U-S-E. The reason for, the cause, the causation. And also with our hand, we should have done this with abuse. But anyway, if you're yelling at someone, to bawl out, or man, I got in trouble, I got yelled at. That's what that is. Mini starts out with the S and goes, and you throw it down. Mini, and then you can have it with the S and you throw it up. How much? How much? It's almost like you have like matchsticks, and you have them in your hand, and you throw them, and you go, how much is that? But then mini starts out with the S hand shape and goes thrown down. I know. How much? Mini. M-A-N-Y. Okay. To drop. I'm just going to, just drop it. Just drop it. Now, you can drop an object, or you can just drop a subject. Just drop it. We use that a lot. Magic. I like this one. So you have your S hands and magic. I mean, it's just a fun sign because you don't get to use it very often. And remember, I said the rockets, red glare. We said the rockets with our hand shape. And so now we've got our bomb. And the bomb is bursting in air. Fireworks. Obey. And you can do it one-handed. I'm going to show it one-handed because I'm covering my face with two hands. But when you obey your parents or obey somebody, it always goes down. And you can have it straight out. That's up here. But if you're talking about obeying God, then you're going to go look up and obey up, if that makes sense. Because if you have your God here, then you're going to obey here. But if it's your If it's your boss or your parents, they're more here because they're not. I mean, they are above you, obviously, but it's not in the same vein. So this is obey. So to obey, and so you have that, I'll obey. Is subjection. To envision or to dream, I really like this sign too, because you take your S hand shapes and then you open it up like a dream. Sometimes you see it. I like it. To express yourself, like I just let out my emotions. I really need to vent. To express your emotions. To the sign, some people use it. This is used like I need to sign, but if you want to sign an ASL, sign an ASL. So in ASL, this means signing. When we say, "Oh, I'm learning to sign," this also means to sign, but I use this as well to sign. Oh, do you sign? And that's kind of a shortcut, signing. Sign. Remember we did this for dream, or we can do it to expand something. So this is more of an envision or a dream. But if you want to enlarge something or expand it, you could do it this way, this way, this way, but you want to expand it if you're talking about something. So it's different from an envision or a dream, or this is what my envision is that this is of my life or my world or whatever. So it's a little bit different. To sweat. And you can start from your forehead or start here to sweat. And you can you're really just profusely sweating. Some people do it like from down here, but I like it down here just because it's easier. But it doesn't really matter because it's just sweating, profusely sweating. You outside for 10 minutes in the summertime and you're just profusely sweating, right? Okay, and to climb, and that's a ladder. But sometimes people climb. They like to mountain climb, or they, that climbing sport. So that's to climb. But it's originally if you're climbing a ladder. So just think of it that way. Abortion. And so this is a sensitive topic, but you might see it. And it also means to abort something. So the word for abortion is not necessarily to get rid of a child. Sometimes if the child dies while in utero and they take the child, it is considered an abortion, but it's not. This isn't a controversial sign. It's not a controversial subject. So I usually always do the pregnancy sign, and with your hand that you do not write with, you take it, and this other hand grabs it and throws it away. But it can also mean to abort, like when they do all those rockets, you abort, abort, abort. You could do the same thing. It's the same sign. It's to take something and get rid of it. So I had a patient who the baby died while they were pregnant, and they had to get the dead body out, and it was called an abortion, but I had to do that sign, but I also had to explain, because she was like, abortion? No, I'm not aborting it. So I had to explain that that's because they're taking it out. So it means the same thing. So it doesn't have to necessarily mean something controversial. Okay. When we do our car engine. Now, I don't really know how an engine works or transmission works, but if I'm talking about a motor of some sort, and if I'm not seeing how it works and I don't know how it works, I'm using this sign. Like pistons or something going up and down. That's what I use for a motor, an engine, any type of something, machinery. We already did safe, right? It can also mean refuge, that type of thing, safety. Hill, we start out with our S hand shapes because it's our rock, our stone, and then it's going to go up. We do that for a mountain. So if you do hill, it's shorter, and if it's a mountain, it's big. So you can do a hill or a mountain, any way you so choose, what it looks like. If you're just doing a hill, oh, like go to the hill country, or oh, we're gonna go climb a mountain. Right, we're gonna climb it. Let's see. I was going to do like an Orthodox Jew, like I already did the rabbi, and we already did bat mitzvah and bar mitzvah. And so someone who is an Orthodox Jew, I'll do this like for rabbi, but sometimes it's a strong Jewish person. So they'll start out with strong and do the sign for Hebrew or Jewish. So I think that's about it for the S. Oh gosh, it was so many, and I thought it was going to take longer, but it was faster. And so there's many sentences that you can use and make up. So let's create it. That's one, right? And when I think of some different sentences, then I'll put them in the comment section. So please look at that as well. So have a good day. Bye.